Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Dr. Arnold Nerenberg. I've been licensed as a licensed clinical psychologist since 1974 in the state of California. And I like to say I've been licensed to walk upon this earth since 1941, so going on 82 years of age. And what a pleasure it is to be here with you and to have this opportunity to share with you insights and lessons and inspirations of a lifetime. Truly, it's a privilege for me. Sincerely. My intention is to give you inspiration, insights, and impact your whole psyche for the rest of your lives and for you to pass that on to others. And I bring this knowledge and inspiration to all areas of life. Today we're bringing it into athletics, but that's a metaphor for everything in life. So the title of today's presentation is The Victory of the Honor Athlete. The Victory of the Honor Athlete. We're all here of situations where very strong athletes, whether it's football, boxing, any area, because athletes tend to be stronger than the general population. And very often in their personal lives, that strength and that knowledge is misused for dominating or even abusing other people. It happens too often. It makes the headlines. It happens a lot. On the other hand, there's a great deal of honor that's also been shown in athletics. I'll give you a couple of examples. One was in girls softball, was an example that moved me deeply. This one girl, maybe about 17 years old in softball, hit a home run. She started to run and she twisted her ankle and she couldn't run. She just couldn't do the bases. The other team picked her up, put her on their shoulders and walked around the bases with her to take her through her victory walk around the bases. That was very honorable and very moving. In Persia, they had what was called the Pahlavon, which were basically honor athletes. There was an example of somebody wrestling in the Olympics. His opponent's right arm was hurt and he could hardly use it. He did not use his right arm in the wrestling match and still defeated him just using his left arm, but he didn't want to take unfair advantage of the man's injury. That's honor in the sport. So we're talking about removing or do what we can to bring honor into athletics, into all areas of life. Right now we're talking about the athlete. That's what we call the victory of the honor athlete. Now, certainly winning and victory is important. But it's not the end of all ends. I'll tell you why. Let's say somebody could win, but they cheated. Well, you could say he's a winner, but that he's really a loser. But he gets the trophy or he gets the money, the winning prize. So winning is not everything. Certainly if it goes past a certain point of dishonor, it's really, the public may think, wow, what an athlete. But then they find out later he was, unlike all his competitors, he had steroids or there was some other dishonorable behavior. So when we talk about the victory of the honor athlete, we're talking not only about honor within the sport, but then the knowledge and power he gains from the sport is then carried over to his personal life. Why was Muhammad Ali considered one of the greatest of all time? It wasn't just that he was a great boxer and knocked people out. Heck, you can chain a gorilla to do it. He could knock out 100 of the greatest boxers. What made Muhammad Ali, he was a great human boxer, no doubt about it. But what made him great was his moral character. He stood up for civil rights. It cost him his championship because he didn't box for a period of time because of civil disobedience. And then he regained his title again. So he's so memorable and so admired and respected because of his honor and his boxing ability. But really the honor took him to another level. You look at Manny Pacquiao. He's a great boxer. But his values, his humanity, his honor, and what he's done with his money and what he's brought to the Philippines, that added to his greatness. He is an honor athlete. It's the character of the athlete that makes him truly great. Certainly the achievements of being able to run faster or hit harder or lift more weights or throw a basketball in the net more. I mean, that's all good and certainly to be admired. But what takes it to a level of greatness is to be an honor athlete. That's the true victory, because that's a victory over whatever temptations there are to compromise ourselves. It's a victory over ourselves. Now, the other thing, let me tell you about great athletes, people who conquer and dominate a whole sport for long periods of time. Let's go back in history. When the Romans would conquer in battle, the conquering general would be in a chariot, and a slave would be standing right beside him and would whisper in his ear, "Glory is fleeting. Glory is fleeting. Glory is fleeting." You look at a great weightlifter, great boxer, great football player. There'll come a point as the years go by, he won't be able to do it anymore. He can only say, "I did that then, but I can't do it now." It's a memory. They say in weightlifting, you're only as good as your last lift. You did it then. You had a world record. I had a world record as a bench presser. I'm a world champion power lifter. 65, I set a world record of 365 pounds. When I was 70, I set a world record of 140 pounds with a power pull-up. 67 years old, I set a world record on a T-bar strongman pull of 270 pounds. That was then. I can't do it now. I'm born 82 years old. Can't do it now. That was then. I'm glad I could do it. I can train others how to do it, but I can't even come close to that now. So, whatever I do in the gym, whatever I'm lifting, I say, gee, this used to be nothing for me. But I used to be able to do the whole rack. Now I'm just doing this. So, every athlete that's been a world champion, has been at elite level, is in that situation. Well, I used to be able to do this, but I can't do that now. Glory is fleeting. So this leads us to keeping that in mind in our victories. Humble in victory. It's one of the aspects of being an honor athlete, humble in victory. Let me show you the pledge to be an honor athlete, and then I'm going to give you the code. So, an honor athlete, raise the right hand. I pledge by all that is sacred to me that I will not use my knowledge and power for unjust causes, but only use it for constructive and honorable purposes. I am an honor athlete. It's the pledge of the honor athlete. Anybody can go into martial arts, weightlifting, anything that's going to strengthen anybody, and which comes through many sports, football players included, should be taking that pledge to at least point the direction so that the power and knowledge is not going to be abused, but used for constructive and honorable purposes. Now, the code of the honor athlete is this: humble in victory, strength from loss. Humble in victory, strength from loss. Humble in victory We're victorious now. We failed in the past to dominate, and we will again. Our time will come when we will no longer be the champ. We will no longer be number one. There'll come a time where we're not even number 10. So as we remember that helps us to be humble in victory. For right now, at this time, I'm standing on the platform. I'm receiving these accolades, monies, trophies, fame, whatever. But it's just a matter of time till we're forgotten. Not too long either. Forgotten, first will come, I can no longer do what I did, and then comes, nobody even knows who you are. Your name is gone. Maybe it's a little record somewhere. Oh, footnote. That's it. Humble in victory. Strength from loss. So, when we lose, it's motivation to try harder, to understand our limitations, to keep us humble, and to motivate us to greater victory, and to, well, I would say the keeping you humble. When a person, the person that's really respected, a true legacy of honor, is to be defeated and defeated and defeated, and then come back in victory. We all respect that. A man or a woman being defeated over and over again, and then they rise up and they win. First place, whatever. We all respect that. Because we respect heart. If a person has a lot of heart, we respect that. I remember a boxer, his leg was tweaked. He came into with a sleeve over his knee. But during the fight, it got weaker and weaker. He could hardly stand up. He kept falling, getting up. But he kept getting up there, taking the beating, giving out the beating as best he could. And he was defeated. He lost. But he got more of a standing ovation than the winner, because we admire that heart. We respect that. Although he was defeated, he lost. But he kept going. We saw the movie Rocky. I mean, we all admired him. This guy was being beaten to a pulp, but he kept going. Of course, he ended up being victorious, but still, even if he hadn't been, he showed that much heart. So that's the essence. The pledge to be the honor athlete, the code, humble in victory, strength from loss. Then, now this part is optional. If it's a team sport, it starts we are. If it's an individual, we go I am. So we'll go with we are. We are grateful for the strength we will gain from this loss. We salute you. So the whole team is standing up, going, we are grateful for the strength we gain from this loss. We salute you. And then the victor says, we are grateful for the humility you inspire in us. We salute you. We are grateful for the humility you inspire in us. We salute you. So that would be, now, if it's an individual sport, running, jumping, boxing, weightlifting, whatever, I am grateful for the strength I will gain from this loss. I salute you. And then the victor says, I am grateful for the humility you inspire in me. I salute you. This takes it to another level. And because our athletes are role models, for better or worse, whether it should be that way or not, this will set an example, a true role model. Right now, our athletes, it's questionable how many are role models. This will make our athletes role models. And we're looking to introduce this into all athletics. They are, for better or worse, they are role models for our youth. So now I'm going to open this up. It's been my privilege to present to you the victory of the honor athlete. And the honor athlete, I should add one other thing. He's also a health athlete. He's not only learning how to master his sport, but he's also looking after his health. Some people really sacrifice their health, shortens their lifespan. It's not fair to them or their families, but they're also a health athlete, understanding what optimal health is versus normal. That's a whole other discussion, which I've already given many times. So now I'm going to open this up to discussion and questions. Robert, any questions or comments you have on the victory of the honor athlete?
Yeah, and in your reference to boxing, it's like a fighter cherry picking his fights. Like he knows he's going to be able to beat this guy instead of, when you're on top of the mountain, instead of, like taking on the latest and greatest. And how can you be truly honorable to yourself? Like you say, if you don't accept that fight from the up and coming person, then who are you?
It certainly is more honorable to face the greatest contenders. Mm-hmm. That would be more honorable. There's different degrees. He could still be an honorable athlete in many ways, but it's certainly a greater honor if he says he wants to fight the best to defend his title. Absolutely. Good, very good point. Very good point. Tracy, you've been a champion athlete. What are you, Tracy? What are your thoughts, Tracy?
Well, I think having something like the athlete honor code would help rival teams just have more respect for each other. And
that's respect.
Not only that, right. And not only that, but especially when it comes to the teams, it also starts from the top. So for the coaches to be able to absorb this type of respect and honor code, it wouldn't let the students or the athletes be so what's the word I'm
No, the
looking for?
coaches, we want to bring this to the coaches. As a matter of fact, we've had one person who coaches football for little children, and he already had his son Ezekiel, Marcus had his son Ezekiel, take the pledge to be an honor athlete. And when at the World Legion of Power that C.T. Fletcher and I both co-founded, I would have people take the pledge to be an honor athlete before competing. But we need to spread this throughout all athletics. That's the intention.
Yes. And I guess I'm looking for aggression. That's the word that maybe I'm looking for, that it wouldn't make the athletes be so, aggressive toward the other athletes. Because I've had coaches who, they were always honorable coaches, but I've been friends with people from the other side who are like, our coach is very, very kind of hostile because he wants them to have a winning attitude. He wants them to be strong. So it's kind of like, hey, you go out there and you win, cutthroat, like let's get it. And
and winning, that's fine, but at what cost? I mean, certainly winning, but we had people who were winning. We know an example in bicycling racing, a legend was roided up and everything was taken from. We had baseball players setting records. It was taken from the roids. Roids were one way. Competing against non-steroided people on roids, we've seen a lot of that, for example. You're winning, and some get away with it for a while, but certainly we want to win, no question about it. But if it requires dishonor in any fashion, I'd say the man's a loser. Whether he got the prize, he's getting the recognition, that he's still a loser. He's a loser. The world might say, "Wow, what a winner," but he's really a loser.
Yeah, and sometimes, I mean, my coach would always be like, "Listen, don't be a sore loser. You guys need to, accept the loss and learn from it. Maybe you weren't having your best day, and maybe they were having a better day during the competition. So let's work on getting better.
Well, that's the idea. Strength from loss. Strength from loss. 3 words. Humble in victory. 3 words. And, you know, you win a game. That's great. I mean, it's not going to even be remembered. If you win with honor, it's certainly a greater achievement. If you're winning with honor, it just adds to the power and makes it more memorable. Absolutely. And I mean, you competed, you were a elite athlete as a runner, you know, you had scholarships, you did, you know, as a runner. I mean, and I've been in many, played in many sports, wrestling, soccer, lacrosse, tennis. No coach ever taught us about honor or said a word about it. In powerlifting, I never heard anything about it. As a world champion bodybuilder, I never heard anything about it. So we really need to be introducing this into the gym culture, the fitness culture, throughout the world. That's our mission and the honor movement. Yeah. Stacy, thank you, Tracy. Stacy, very good. Thanks. Stacy, any comments or questions?
Yeah, I mean, I like how you said, you know your limitations, and knowing your limitations will allow you to have multiple defeats, but to still keep the motivation to continue on and win. So, and even if you're defeated over and over and over, it shouldn't necessarily stop you from the pursuit of.
Wouldn't you agree, Stacy? Somebody's defeated over and over and over again, then all of a sudden rise up and wins. Isn't that shows a lot of heart and commands more respect than if he hadn't lost all those games?
So much heart and so much respect, and there's such a probably, I don't know from experience, but I used to actually play club soccer growing up, so I was competitive. I was definitely in it to win it, and I do remember a couple occasions where there was some not honorable things that with me too. I mean, just playing dirty type strategy. Yeah, it
wasn't part of the sport. There was a time being a good sport. That concept was around a long time ago. How much of a good sport people were, I don't really know. But it was at least some mention of it, some lip service to it, and probably some reality to it, to being a good sport.
Yeah, good sport. I like
a sport,
that.
not a good sport only in defeat, a good sport in victory.
In victory too. And the last thing I want to say is I do think that when you hear these stories of these athletes who we've been praising or idolizing for so long, and then a story comes out about usage or this or that to enhance their performance, it's heartbreaking sometimes, because you're like, man, you really. And that honor you talk about, and the honor that you teach us is what we're doing, behind closed doors, who we are to the world. And that marriage needs to exist to have true honor in all things that we do, and especially for the athletes too. Yeah, I love this.
Yeah, exactly. Especially the athletes, because for better or worse, they're taken as role models. People look up to and emulate. So especially there. Very good, as always, Stacy. Good comments. Thank you. Kimberly, anything you want to add or say?
Yeah. So I really do love those words, humble in victory, strength from loss. I think these words have a lot of meaning. These are very strong words, and I feel like every time somebody wins, I think it's a good way to kind of give them humility to be able to say, hey, humble in victory. And when people lose, I think that, just saying the words like strength from loss, that can really feel like change people's mindsets, and, give them courage to continue. And and not give up. So I feel like these are actually pretty powerful words. Even myself, being in this profession now, and just when, you're trying to just compete or do whatever you have to do, and it's just kind of like, hey, just don't get too cocky, just kind of like tone it down a little bit, and just, learn from your mistakes and help each other, and just don't feel like have like I said, too cockiness, or just kind of like be self-conceited, or what. I guess that would be, I don't know if that would be the proper words for it, but you know what I mean.
Yep. Well, of course, humility in all areas of life, that's certainly honorable in all areas, whether it's professional like yourself, in nursing, or any profession. And then in athletics, I mean, right now, you have people who start pounding their chests and, they're on top of the world. You're going to be forgotten completely. And the time will come, and in not near too distant future, you're not going to be able to be winning anymore. So humble in victory, and then also some respect towards your opponent. And so, so a person is losing. I'm grateful for the strength I will gain from this loss. I salute you. And then the victor is saying, I am grateful for the humility you so inspire in me. I salute you. That really creates a whole different paradigm for life. You're still competitive, you're still seeking to win, but it's a very different paradigm. The goal is to win with honor. It's not winning, to win with honor. So the goal should be not just winning, but to win with honor. So that has to be added on, to win with honor. It's not to win at all costs. It's to win with honor. So that's really the theme, the aspiration, to win with honor, to have an honorable win. That is a true victory. You win with honor. If there's something dishonorable, you're a loser. You can get all the trophies and money, whatever, you're still a loser. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. Very good, Kimberly. Very, very good.
Thank you.
Well, I'm extremely happy to be here with you and present this to you. Victory of the true honor athlete. I want to thank you for being with me, for giving this opportunity to present this to you. I'm truly grateful.
Good. 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 75.
You got it. 24, 25, 26, 27.
Ready, Hugh?
Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I will do a power grip. My record to date is 255 pounds. I'm going to go for another record today with my witnesses here. See how it goes. But I'm strong. I'm feeling it. Oh, I'm pumped. All right, 261 pounds.
Come on, you can do it. Go, 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 go.
Christ!
Yeah. Inverter power hang. 72 years old.
Got it, doctor. Damn, man. Excellent.
The sea of destiny is in your deepest struggle. God's will and mine be one, and I wish you well. You are co-creator, respectfully real. There's a way in the valley that turns weakness to steel. We're known through all eternity. From strife we gain power, clothed in grace and love, disciples of honor. All the days of our lives refuse the way of shame. We wish nobody harm, have no one to blame. Your high calling will be done, and pure eyes now glow. In darkness crave the good, like waters from the desert flow. I pledge my love all the days of my life. I pledge my soul to all that is good. I pledge my heart to my brothers and sisters who I join in the light, leave a legacy of honor. We're known through all eternity, from strife we gain power, clothed in grace and love, disciples of honor. All the days of our lives refuse the way of shame. We wish nobody harm, have no one to blame. Your high calling will be done, and pure eyes now glow. In darkness crave the good, like waters from the desert flow.